I know what you're thinking. Well, actually, I don't know what you're thinking, but I'm just going to presume that I do anyways. Why am I doing a quick review for specifically Beyond when I didn't do it for the previous two? Well, that's because I'm in the wake of some madman that decided to upload the whole thing onto YouTube. It's probably not there by the time I upload this, but seeing that this was already there, I might as well get my quick thoughts on the movie out of the way right then and there while the thing is still up. Also, if I have to be honest here, it's pretty awesome that we're getting a VHS movie annually now. It's always been my favorite found footage franchise, in part due to my immense love for anthologies, and for how goddamn creative some of these concepts can be. Which, yeah, does lead to some segments that could be hit or miss at times, like Second Honeymoon from the first movie, No Wake from '85, and the entirety of Viral. But still, seeing that this was once the nichest of the niche when it comes to anthologies, seeing how huge this got in the wake of the 2010s is very comforting to see, especially as someone who loved the first two movies, and Viral was a thing that... Also, if you're wondering why my voice is like this at the moment, I sort of blew my vocal cords out for another video that I'm releasing in the near future, so, get ready for that. It was certainly wild filming it, that's for sure. Anyways, onto the film itself. Beyond is interesting. It's laid out like this documentary about the discovery of aliens, and maybe it's because of my bias towards documentaries, but it's probably the first time in the entire franchise that I've liked the wraparound segment over the actual segments itself. To me, this is like Viral's Dante the Great, if it was done right. It's a fun way to build up tension with how uncertain everybody is about the alien causing all this destruction, and the payoff of it all is appropriately disturbing. Plus, I have to give points to any movie that acknowledges Orson Welles' 1939 War of the Worlds broadcast, which might be one of my favorite documented reports of mass hysteria ever. Yeah, just ever. I don't think anything's just gonna top that. As for the segments themselves, they're fine. They're not bad, but there's something about how everything is shot and paced that kind of throws me out in a loop. Like, they were originally going to be these standalone found footage movies, but Shudder sort of ran out of time and decided to squeeze them all into a VHS movie. That would sort of explain why almost every segment here completely contradicts its frame narrative, which I think was a similar sin that Viral made, and let's just say nobody should be committing any sins that Viral made. At least with 94 onwards, they had to work around the limitations that the studio gave them to make it look as crusty as possible because they weren't allowed to use actual analog camcorders. Here, it's shown that the quote-unquote proof is on a tape, so why does it look like it was all filmed off of an iPhone or Samsung? It makes no sense stylistically. Even if you remove that context, the zombie house raid segment was fine, the demon pop star one was fine, the rabid human dog was fine. It's all fine. Though I will say for the dog one that it's directed by the last person you would expect to make a horror short. Alvin! From Alvin and the Chipmunks! But it's no big surprise that the best segment of the movie, and the only one that has an actual chance to be as much of a VHS fan favorite as Safe Haven and 10/31/98, belongs to Kate Siegel and Mike Flanagan. Hell yeah, the real masters of horror are here! Aside from, of course, the director of Thanksgiving. I've mentioned before in my 2023 year-end list that I have AstraZenephobia, which is a fear of getting abducted by aliens. A fear that was already established by the VHS 2 segment Slumber Party Alien Abduction, except unlike that segment, we get to see the inside of the alien ship, and oh my god, it's exactly what my nightmares foretold. This is terrifying. From the ship taking off, to the alien silhouette, to being the only segment in the entire film to feel as grainy as the VHS tapes it was filmed on. Yep, I am definitely not going to sleep tonight. That's my sleeping days well behind me at this point. Aside from that scariness, Beyond is the weakest modern VHS movie because of the segments going against the grainy feel of the other films and the title. but it still has a lot of creative ideas, decent effects, and Graphica's held deaths to keep it from being dull as dishwater. Anyways, thank you for watching. Make sure to like the video and to subscribe to be notified for when another video comes out. And I know that might be annoying for a lot of you, but what I've been hearing from other people telling y'all to like and subscribe does actually work, so if you could do that, it'd be much appreciated. And lastly, have you been noticing how many weird sequels we've been getting as of late? Not counting this one, of course, but from the top of my head, we've gotten a sequel to Beetlejuice, Joker, The Platform, and Rosemary's Baby in the span of a month. And that's not even mentioning the other sequels that we're going to be getting, like Gladiator 2, which already makes no sense, Lord of the Rings 4, which makes even less sense, 28 Years Later, which... okay, I could kind of see that working, but then there's Resurrection of the Christ, a sequel to Passion of the Christ.